This is day 177 of New Zealand's biggest gap year, an epic challenge that Laura and I decided to tackle a couple of years ago, where we had to do 365 activities all around New Zealand in 365 days. Today we are in Dunedin and we're going to check out Tunnel Beach. Join me at the end of the video. This morning, needless to say that the weather is not on our side. We were expecting beautiful beach weather, but we will have to make do with tunnel beach weather. So we are joining Anya, which is a German backpacker that we met at the Hogwarts hostel, but we are staying right here. And we are making our way toward Tunnel Beach. We have to take a bus and then we have about a 20-minute walk to make our way all the way down to the water. It is best to plan your trip to Tunnel Beach during low tide. That's the only time of the day where you will actually be able to access that said Tunnel Beach. Otherwise, you'll only be able to see the Tunnel Beach from above the cliffs. For us today, the low tide is at 1:30 p.m. So although it's mid-afternoon, we don't think we're gonna be jumping in the water anytime soon.
Despite the weather, we are so glad that we've made it to Tunnel Beach today. As soon as we get onto those cliff tops and get an amazing view of those sandstone arches, we know we've made a good choice. In fact, we made a great choice because the waves are super high today thanks to the high winds, and they're absolutely crashing against the cliff sides. And we can see exactly why those archways have been formed. In fact, it's even hard for us to stand on the top of these cliffs with these high winds. After gazing upon the archway's beauty for quite some time, we are now making our way to the other side of the cliffs, where we are greeted by a couple of really majestic waterfalls tumbling onto the beach below. And the really awesome way to actually access Tunnel Beach is through a tunnel. This is a super fun little man-made tunnel which was actually carved during 1870 when a rich family decided they wanted private access to this beach, so actually carved the tunnels themselves. Or they probably got their servants to carve it for them. Nevertheless, we're pretty happy that it's here so that we can access this really awesome beach with massive boulders that you can climb on top of. There's a few rocks and stuff to make your way between, but the views of the waterfall are absolutely amazing.
Tunnel Beach is also a great place to seek fossils. If you look around the tunnel itself, you will find a lot of fossils of seashells, and around the two waterfalls there is massive amount of rocks, and in them you'll be able to spot a ton of fossils as well. And wandering a little bit around the beach, I find myself another little tunnel which leads to a very small cave, and this gives me a little bit of time to reflect upon my trip. Alright guys, so we are in Tunnel Beach. There's heaps of people around. It's been raining. We're on day 176 or something of this trip. I just had enough. I'm staying here. Found myself a little cave. I think it's big enough for me. I'm moving in. Yep. This is my life now. Me and my rocks. All those rocks here are my friends. And I'm gonna stay here. Been cold and wet enough. It's over. Got a good view. My neighbors are pretty quiet. There are a couple of mussels. So it's after a little bit of cave nonsense that we are now making our way back toward the top of the cliffs as well as toward the bus, because there are not that many buses getting to Tunnel Beach, and if you miss it, it's a very long hike back to Dunedin city.
While Robin is rushing away to get to the bus on time, Anya and I are sort of taking it easy, taking some time to get some more photos of this beautiful place, as well as have ourselves a little snack.
I'm having a Tunnel Beach snack.
The wind up here is absolutely ridiculous, but it is giving us a much needed push to get back up that walking track to the bus stop. The whole Tunnel Beach track is a 1-hour return. It's super easy, super wide, except for after rainy weather that we're having at the moment. It's a little bit slippery.
As per usual, I am a huge fan of one-way tracks because we get to see the views, which were fantastic once again. And as soon as we arrive to the bus shelter, we find out that this is probably the least effective bus shelter we have ever seen in our lives, as we are getting absolutely drenched while waiting for the bus. This is getting cold, wet, and there is no way to avoid any of the rain. Oh well, we'll put ourselves in the dryer at the hostel. Alright guys, how about that for a rainy day activity? Well, you know, yeah, sometimes you got to get wet when traveling around New Zealand. Okay, so let's have a look at the kind of comments that we received the first time we published it. Bodes said that, wow, it looks amazing. Earls says, it looks really interesting. Omega Sun says, I remember 3 years ago my class went to Tunnel Beach and my class went into the cave and saw baby penguins. That's cool, I didn't know there was baby penguins there. If you ever encounter some baby penguins or any kind of baby wildlife, please stay away from them, just because otherwise their parents may smell a different odor on them and not recognize them as their own, calves or babies basically, and that may lead to some bad things happening to them. So let's be aware that if we see some wildlife, we stay away from them and we use a big photo lens in order to take some photos. Scotch's Place says, glad you decided to continue the trip and not live in your cave forever. Well, that's pretty good. I feel like I didn't really have a choice. Laura wouldn't let me live in the cave forever. Jamie Crook says, super easy. It's pretty steep. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was quite steep indeed. But yeah, we are kind of used to now by doing so many activities. So sometimes we feel like something are easier than they actually are. Alright, if you want to pick our brain 24/7 and plan your trip with us, you can check out nzpocketguide.com. It's the largest travel guide to New Zealand and it's written by Laura and I. If you want to actually pick our brain, you can join one of our live sessions. It's happening at 8 AM New Zealand time every single Sunday. You can pop in, ask us all your questions in the live chat and we'll be right here answering all your questions. So what about you do that? In the meantime, you want to say thank you to us for all the videos that we're publishing? Hell yeah, do it! Hit like and hit subscribe. Thank you so much. See you in the next adventure.